And so basically for this, okay, so after formulation of hypothesis, what I mean, so we have basic data. Okay, so for that we try to assume possible source, possible causative agent, possible mode of spread, and possible environmental factors. Then we need to test for hypothesis. For that we have different statistical tool that is called test of significance. We have chi-square test, we have Z-test, we have T-test. At least try to know the name. And it's called analytical epidemiology. So previous one is cross-sectional, descriptive cross-sectional. Now analytical. And the most important part, most important studies for analytical epidemiology is cohort studies in case control study. So cohort means prospective. Case control studies means retrospective study. So what to use as an expert for your outbreak, analysis. Let me see. Sorry. Okay, you can see if rare disease having large community, we can use case control study, because we are trying to identify the factors responsible for particular outbreak of disease. For the common disease, small community, what is study. For if complete population is accessible, what would be better? But we can use case control too. For large amount of resource, if you have money, if you have materials, then better one is what? If not, case control. And if you have limited resource, then case control. So from this table, you need to identify the most important part is if your disease of study is rare disease and you have limited resource, the best method of epidemiological study design is case control study, because this is common question. It's also called retrospective study. So we have already diseased person and non-diseased person. So we go backward and look for what are the possible risk factors of particular disease. We have lung cancer, one group of people, another without having lung cancers. Then we'll go back and try to ask, is there a history about smoking? Okay. Smoking plus having cancer, smoking, no smoking without having cancer. This is usual trend. There is one term known as biological plausibility. As a doctor, we should know the biological plausibility. It's like pathophysiology. So what is biological plausibility? So you need to answer through Google Classroom. In my next class, I'll ask almost all students, what are the different, methods of epidemiological study design, bias, blinding, because epidemiology is one of the most major part of community medicine. You should know. Then, so after testing a hypothesis, you can find some factors, almost confirmed factors related to particular outbreak. But we need to go beyond. We need to find the possible ecological factors or environmental factors, agent or environment, epidemiological threat. An investigation of the circumstances involved should be carried out to undertake appropriate measures to prevent further transmission of the disease. In my second or third slide, I showed you the way of investigating outbreak, okay, of jaundice in our city, Viratnagar. Okay, though the causative agent is hepatitis E, but there are other environmental factors, ecological factors. As an expert or team of experts, you try to establish what are the possible ecological factors or environmental factors. You can see sanitary status of eating establishment, especially for a food poisoning. The causative agent may be some microorganisms, but what is the environmental cause or ecological factors? Maybe sanitary status of eating establishment, water and milk supply, breakdown in the water supply system. Now in this rainy season, during flood, we may have frequent breakdown in the water system. Movement of the human population, COVID-19, atmospheric changes, such as temperature. Maybe it will change. It will increase more cases of vector-borne disease. Okay, due to increased awareness number of mosquitoes, respiratory problems, population dynamics of insects, or sometimes animal disease. Why? So as an expert group, we need to identify ecological factors which are directly or indirectly related to that particular outbreak. So one of the primary concern of epidemiologists is to relate the disease to environmental factors, to know the source of infection, reservoir, and modes of transmission. Because we have team from multiple speciality. Just knowing the microorganism through lab data is not complete. So you try to identify the possible environmental factors, because without having any intervention of environmental factors, without correction of environmental factors, we can't control outbreak. There may be a recurrence. So without having good water supply system, we can't think about typhoid-free society. We can't think about cholera or diarrhea-free society. For that, we must have good sanitation and hygiene, good water supply system. So we need to go, as an epidemiologist, we need to go beyond our OPD or clinical or hospital setting. And there are different methods like environmental studies, entomology, or rodentology, or microbiological studies. And this can be done through case control fashion or retrospective study. Because if you are going to study factors for that case control study, that's easy. Environmental investigation, you need to collect sample, food, water source, contaminated water. Okay. You need to document contaminated environment. You need to go for microbiological studies, Vibrio cholerae or leptospirosis. Okay. Sometimes you need to check for antibodies through RDT, rapid diagnostic test kit, either antigen based or antibody based, basically antibody based, to know about immunity. The entomological study, either rodentology, rodents related to plague or rat bite fever, leptospirosis, or mosquitoes. Then the ninth step is further investigation of population networks. You should be clear, dear student, you should be clear. You need to formulate hypothesis, you need to test hypothesis. So after testing of hypothesis, you have some confirmed diagnosis. In terms of clinical science, you can say diagnosis. You have confirmed causative factors. But as an epidemiologist, as an outbreak caused by Salmonella typhi, host human environment, okay, due to contaminated water, poor sanitation and hygiene. We know epidemiological trials easily, but what are the factors beyond this epidemiological trial? So what are the factors responsible for breakdown of water system? Who are responsible for unhygienic water supply? Or what about the sanitation and hygiene status of community? Or from water collection tank to your households? because we have experts. So in my previous class, I told you in the group of outbreak investigation team, you must have experts based on condition or based on outbreak. So for that, we may need public health engineers or sanitation experts, or other persons who are responsible for fixing these issues. So this is all about that particular case. Now you need to go beyond. You need to further investigation of population at risk. Now you need to go beyond that particular population. You need to identify other group of population. Actually, you need to increase your horizon and try to identify cases or condition. So a study of the population at risk or a sample of it may be needed to obtain additional evidence. Actually, we need to go beyond our current horizon of outbreak area, and in the broader horizon, we try to identify the population at risk. It's not possible to reach every individuals, every household, or every family, or our community members. For that, you need to go for scientific sampling methods, and you need to sample. You need to sample in such a way that it will represent the entire population, and your final result or inference may be applicable, because in the definition of epidemiology, you need to identify all the factors, you try to diagnose and implement the useful methods to control that particular problem. See, we have two paths, so you can correlate now with your epidemiology part. Sorry, definition of epidemiology given by John M. Last. Okay, sometimes we need to collect for suspected food, feces, blood sample, biochemical studies, assessment of immunity status. Let me give you one example. Last year we have dengue outbreak in our city, Viratnagar, and the possible vector is Aedes albopictus. And we didn't know which virus is responsible for dengue. Is it DEN 1, dengue virus 1, dengue virus 2, dengue virus 3, or dengue virus 4? Serologically. Genotypically, we have, I think, 17 types of dengue virus. For that, we need to send our sample to virology unit Pune, India, okay, for virology testing, or its genetic mapping. Though our problem is solved, the case of dengue or outbreak of dengue, the possible vector is Aedes albopictus, the possible virus is dengue. It's known. But what are its genetic variation? For that, we need to preserve sample and send to reference lab or a higher authority. So this is called further investigation of population at risk, because by knowing the genotypes of dengue virus, we can predict for future hemorrhagic condition of dengue, because there is no cross immunity in the dengue. I think maybe in your clinical classes will teach you, or the medicine people or pediatrics people will teach you pathophysiology of dengue. Okay, I don't know about microbiology and pathology. I think they will already taught you in your first year or second. I know, but you should understand the concept of further investigation of population at risk. And the approach may be retrospective. You try to go back and find the cause, or prospective. For example, serological study may reveal clinically inapparent cases and throw light on the pathogenic condition. Now, you can see in the current context of COVID-19, people are more concerned about RT-PCR positive cases without having symptoms. Those who came from outside, so they are currently at quarantine, and the team try to test for their RDT. If RDT positive, they send for PCR test. If PCR test positive, they concern for isolation. If we have asymptomatic cases who even came from India or other countries, or who are within community without having any symptom, without any epidemiological link, but actually he or she is positive and transmitting disease, asymptomatic carrier, then Actually, this is a major threat for public, which is actually happening in the current context of COVID-19. So in the current context of COVID-19 pandemic, our old failed for proper identification of asymptomatic cases and its containment. This is the major challenge. Okay. So as a medical student, you try to advocate your ward leaders or Netaji or asymptomatic cases and their significant transmission. You can't consider this group of people and good containment. We need to continue this online class for more year. Okay. Okay. Then first part, the last part is writing a report. And we are actually we need, especially in our part in Southeast Asia, especially in Nepal, in our hospital setting, even in our academic setting, we always feel difficulty to write report. Even you student always feel difficulty to submit logbook, FHE logbook, because this is our habit. The Western people, they are fond of writing the things, listing the things, documenting the things. Still we do more work, but we fail to report. Western countries, they work and they will report, and they are more successful to visualize their information, visualize their work. Oh, okay, we need to write report. Like you need to submit your report after drama program in your FHE or FHE visit. Okay, and the report should be complete. It should be complete. It should be convincing. There should be convincing information to be included. So it's all in your part. Okay, what are the information? First, always background information. So these are some points what we need to include in this section background. So we can modify it based on your expertise, based on the context, based on type of outbreak. So what is the geographical location? So let me give you one report of, actual report of hepatitis C outbreak in Viratnagar. So geographical location, Viratnagar. Climatic condition, so during rainy season. Demographic status, population pyramid. So they especially geriatric age group. They were more suffered. Okay? Poor social status, having less sanitation and hygiene. Organization of health services through PSC or through private hospitals. And for kind information, in our city, Viratnagar, the healthcare waste management is pathetic. They used to throw all the healthcare waste in nearby river. After that, there are certain improvement, but still we need to go beyond. Then surveillance and warning systems. So what are the different warning systems? We have EWARS, early warning and reporting system, in our positional hospital. What are the normal disease pattern? So we can access our HMIS data, health management information system data from health post, from PSC, or from district, and try to correlate with existence of epidemic. That is called verification of diagnosis and confirmation of epidemic. So we need to include this under this section. Then historical background, like previous occurrence of epidemic, like hepatitis C outbreak in the previous year before 2071 at Viratnagar, of the same disease or locally or elsewhere. Occurrence of any related disease in the same year or other years. So since last few years, we have constant dengue outbreak. So in our city, Viratnagar, in the nearby city, Japa district, or even in India, lots of cases of dengue, even chikungunya, and discovery of the first case of the present outbreak. That is called primary case. So what is the difference between primary case and index case? This is homework for you. I'll ask in your Google Classroom. If I forgot somebody, please remind me. Then you need to write the methodology of investigation. So what is your case definition? This is the summary. Okay. What is your case definition based on your operational definition? Probable case, confirmed case, and possible case or no case. Questionnaires or questions pro forma used in epidemiological investigation. What are the different survey items? What are the group members? What is your type of survey? Is it a household survey? Is it retrospective or prospective survey? So what are the laboratory specimen you collected from where? What is the process? What are the different laboratory techniques? Is in is in the virology lab or just simple lab? Okay. So you go for genotype or you only go for serotype. So you need to mention all. Then you need to analyze this data. Okay, analysis of data. So for that, you need to know. You may need help of statistician, or if you are wise enough, you can do yourself. So clinical data analysis of like in context of COVID-19, fever is one of the major symptom. Then course of disease, differential diagnosis, death audit. Sometimes we may go for verbal autopsy. So what is verbal autopsy? This is another term. Please try to read these things. Epidemiological data, mode of occurrence, time, place, and percent distribution, mode of transmission of disease, laboratory data. Then you need to interpret your data to formulate the hypothesis. Now you need to initiate, you need to develop control measures based on evidence. Actually, during outbreak, you need to start prevention and control measures before going for outbreak investigation. You need to initiate based on your previous historical data or previous information in the local context or in other global context. So in between, before formulation of testing of hypothesis, you can modify, and after formulation testing of hypothesis, and you can again remodify your control and preventive measures. And at last, after completion of every stage, you need to develop control measures. You need to actually develop SOP, standard operating procedure, different modules. So how to go for testing, how to go for assessing clinical feature, how to evaluate, okay, disease program, what is the cost, what are the different preventive measures. Actually, control measures should be implemented at the earliest. It is written well here. Do not wait for laboratory confirmation to start control measures. If you have any suspected case of COVID-19, please isolate them. Okay. Do not wait for PCR test. So this is the lesson for you, for us. It may be necessary to implement temporary control measures at the commencement of the epidemic on the basis of known facts of the disease. The measures may be modified or replaced in the light of new knowledge acquired by the epidemic investigation. I already told you this. The first observed. Okay, an epidemiological investigation is more than collection of establishment in fact. Just collecting the fact, but just collecting data is not enough. Okay, for epidemiological investigation, you need to start chain of inferences. You need to arrangement to chain of inferences which extend more or less beyond the bounds of your direct observation. So you may have to interview many stakeholders. You may need to manage not only the clinical or public health parts, epidemiological part, political issues, public issues, okay, monetary issues, finance, everything. You need to be more wise enough, because so after completion of your MBBS, you may be or you have to work as a medical officer, even health post or primary health center or other NGOs. In that condition, you are the leader. You are a member secretary, and you need to know everything. Now, what are the appropriate control measures? You need to control etiological agents. Either you need to treat. So, treat the case of typhoid with good antibiotic, having antibiotic in diagnostic and sensitivity test culture, or you need to treat water canals. You need to provide safe water. Control measures regarding product distribution in terms of COVID-19. So how we need to distribute food items. So we must have some control measures. Control reservoir like mosquitoes. Control malaria, encephalitis. Animal control for rabies, rat controls with possible rodentology prevention methods. Implement isolation and quarantine in the context of COVID. You all see the condition of isolation and quarantine in Nepal and India. Immunize susceptible host, like possible threat of meningococcal meningitis, influenza. Okay. Then the most important part is you need to communicate with public and media. You need to establish reliable communication, be available to the media. Okay. We need to face media. We need to report. Actually, we need to prepare in the layman summaries of our scientific findings in the format of press release. Then the issues of media will automatically decreases. As a doctor, as an expert, we always fail to write press release. We are neglecting these issues, and we are we are increasing more conflicts between media and doctors or experts. Be prepared and anticipate questions. Who is the risks? How can the disease be prevented? Provide sufficient detail to meet public health needs and address public concern. Because there are so many media persons, layman or politician or other publics. So they are pseudo expert. So by searching Google, by searching Facebook or other sites, so they are pseudo expert. As you all know, little knowledge is dangerous. So they have little knowledge in terms of health literacy. So as an expert, you need to handle. Control the rumors, infodemics. So WHO is going to organize one conference on infodemics, first conference on infodemics. If you are interested, try to contact me. So I'll enroll you there also. So it's online first conference. It's very, very good conference. Okay. Ensure correct information. Don't over reassure. Sometimes over reassurance is not good. Recently, I think within the last 24 hours, there is one incident already happened in Bertamor city of Eastern Nepal. Okay. Some person accused or based on one medical officer who recently passed from Lumbini Medical College. So investigation is going on. So we need to be very, cautious. You need to assign a credible spokesperson. So even, especially in outbreak setting, we must have one pravakta or spokesperson. I think you are listening, you are watching our spokesperson, Dr. Jageshwar Gautam for COVID-19, and previous one is Vikas Devpura. So this is how we need to, deliver our findings to media and public. What next? So you need to follow the outbreak because there is a possible chance of secondary wave in terms of COVID. People are not talking, the media is talking or experts are talking about the possibility of secondary wave. So we can correlate it here. Follow up of outbreak to prevent secondary waves. Detect the last case, detect and treat late complications, and complete the documentation. In our neighboring country China, which is the first place where outbreak started. So they have already secondary wave. Even in Japan they have secondary wave. So we need to be very cautious. That we need to have follow up of outbreak to prevent secondary wave. Then evaluation of outbreak management, including investigations. What is the genesis of our outbreak? What are the early and late detection of outbreak? Preparedness for outbreak. These are all intellectual content. Management of outbreak. What are the control measures taken? What are our success? Actually, we need to go for SWOT analysis. What is our strength? As a team, what is our strength? What is our weakness? What are our opportunities and what are possible threats? So always try to do SWOT analysis. Okay, for any outbreak, for your work, for your guidelines. So based on observation, so based on some failure of our implementation, based on our work, we must have revised measures. We must have to develop revised standard operating procedure or the modules. So I think I need to stop here because we are almost enough today's time, and hopefully you understood. So kindly go to a Google Classroom and try to reflect on our questions. So before your assigned date here, I have many questions based on your past questions or some pertaining ongoing COVID-19 context. So I hope this is those who listen carefully. I hope they understood well, because this is very, very important for your real practice in the context of COVID-19. So I am satisfied myself. Hope you are satisfied too. If you have any problem, any questions, so in the context of ongoing COVID-19, let's try to enhance your learning. Let's try to implement the concept of outbreak in the current context. Hopefully, as a medical student, you are smart enough to educate your friends, family, or the community members. So this is up to you. How much you can go based on this knowledge. How much you can coordinate with local experts, because in every ward we have nowadays COVID-19 group, control group. So you can help them. Actually, you can help them. You can contact them and you can show your presence. This is high time and this is great opportunity for you all. Every time we don't need PPE. So with maintaining social distancing, you can contribute to the society. You can deliver your knowledge of outbreak investigation. If you have any problem, I will help you. Okay, and you can communicate me freely. So thank you very much, and let me stop today's class here. So
Excuse
if
me,
you have
sir.
any questions, any queries, you can ask.
Excuse me, sir.
Bana.
Sir, I have one question, sir.
Bana.
Like, now people already know that